Hey students, we are starting a new unit centered on the play 12 Angry Men. This was a play that was written by Reginald Rose. In this video, we're going to talk through the standards that we're focusing on, and we're also going to talk through some of the resources that we're going to work through together. This video will be especially helpful if you missed my intro to this unit in class. The first standard and the biggest standard we're going to focus on through this unit is analyzing how particular lines of dialogue or incidents in a story or drama specifically reveal aspects of character. The other one, there is a movie version for this play, beautifully done. So we'll look at some clips from the movie and compare that filmed production, the filmed version, to the drama, the text, the script. Some of the resources, and the biggest resource we're going to work through as we go, is this packet. We may or may not have a printed packet to work on throughout this unit, but we will still use these resources. So I want to go over them so you're familiar with them. At the top, we have vocabulary. Since this play deals with our judicial system, there are going to be some instances of vocab that you are unfamiliar with. That's okay. Just make sure you utilize this resource, or if you don't have this handy, just look up words that you're unfamiliar with, and that will make it a lot easier to understand what's going on. And we will also talk through these in class as well to make sure that we're all on the same page. We have setting here, time and place. We have plot. For conflict, remember that we are looking at what is the issue, what is the problem in the story. Climax, highest point of tension in Act 1 and Act 2. And then we have a resolution at the end of the play. Below that, we have evidence and testimony as it says. So in the left column here, we have whoever gave a certain piece of evidence or testimony, or what that was. So we see here, and this will make more sense as we get going, as we get reading, but we see the old man who lived on the floor below. This person or piece of evidence, they're going to talk about why that proves the defendant guilty, and that's what you want to write down in this column here. The second or the third column over possibility of doubt, later in the play, they'll start going over, is there a reason that we should doubt this testimony and doubt that it proves the person is guilty? So that's what we're going to write down in this column. Again, it will make more sense as we go, but that's what this section is for, is really for collecting and organizing that evidence and the things they talk through in the jury room. And then the last document that we have here is really focusing on characters. So this is how we are going to practice analyzing lines of dialogue that reveal aspects of character. In the left column at the very top, we have the juror number and character traits and description. So if you notice here, we have the juror number written down for you all the way through 12, but we don't have character traits and description. So that's something you want to add right below. For example, juror 3 is pretty angry. He's aggressive. So that's something that we could jot down. And there's definitely more you want to write down. In the middle, we have a quote that exemplifies or that's typical of that character. For juror 3, we're going to write, "You bet I'm excitable," which he does say. And then we always want to add a page number. I'm going to write 54 for page 54. It's not on page 54, but we're just going to go with that for right now. Make sure you add that page number there. So what does this quote, and you can add more than one quote too, what does this quote reveal about juror 3? Well, obviously, he is excitable, right? That's obvious. He says it right there. It's not always that clear and that obvious, but it is here because he says it. But it goes deeper than that. He cares about the trial, as we'll see, but he's too personally invested in it, and we'll have to explore why that is. Please be aware that I don't want you to just say he's angry here and then have a quote that says they're angry or shows they're angry and then write again he's angry. Go deeper on this side here So for each juror, you're going to do this: the trait, the quote for that juror with a citation, and then what does that reveal? What does that tell us about the character? All the way through juror 12. You want to have this handy as we read, because that will make it a lot easier to jot down a quote when you see it and what it reveals, what it proves about the character. So again, this is what we're really focusing on with 12 Angry Men, analyzing lines of dialogue. How does that reveal aspects of character? And then we'll take a look at some clips from the filmed version as well, to compare and contrast those two versions. So I'm excited to get started with 12 Angry Men. If you have questions, please feel free to ask me, but these are some of the resources that we'll definitely be using as we work through this play.